Lee, it's great to have you in the studio, not least because I've heard you on the radio so much over the years.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And I'll confess. So I grew up with parents who ran a small business, and late payment was the absolute bane of our lives. Tiny little building company of 2 or 3 people in a van, subcontracting off big building companies, and late payment was just endemic. We almost lost our house several times, and you all know. I know you've campaigned on this as a journalist. You've talked about it as a journalist.
Absolutely.
It's great you're trying to do this on the national stage.
How mad am I? It's a big job.
Yeah.
It's a 4-year role, so there's a lot to be done. But it's really interesting that you should say that, because I do remember going on air in a different, obviously with a different broadcaster, very early.
Other broadcasters are available.
They are. Very early one morning, on a programme that still runs very early one morning. And we were talking then, 30 years ago, about late payments. And I think the first thing I would say is I've realised since I took the job in July, we're not talking about late payments all of the time, as in overdue invoices. Quite often we're also talking about long extended payment terms.
And gamesmanship.
Well...
You know, we'll pay you 80 pence in the pound, we'll give you 4/5 of what we owe you if you sign this bit of paper that we don't owe you anything else, or we might pay you 100% in 6 months' time. You're running a small business, cash flow...
There's some of that. There is some of that.
There's some of that.
Definitely. There's some of that conspiracy going on in order to make your books look look good. But there's quite a lot of incompetence, and there's quite a lot of lack of updating of processes. You know, so what we're finding is in the middle, there's a whole tranche of businesses that simply have outdated processes, no investment has gone in, and it actually takes them longer than 30 days to pay you, believe it or not. But the pandemic has shown that there were an awful lot of companies that realised they needed to pay their small suppliers faster, and they did it. They cracked it. They really got on with it. We've seen payments shrink in some big companies to 7 days even, 15 days, 7 days. So it can be done if you put the investment into doing it. It's that lots of other companies, for them, it's not a priority. They've got conflicting priorities in what they spend their money on, and they don't invest in the payment systems. And that's really difficult for small businesses. And at the other end, there's the small business that simply says, OK, I'm so excited, and I've done this. I've been freelance most of my working life, and I have been so excited about a piece of work that I've said, OK, I'll take it, without asking, when are you going to pay me?
That's
and
right.
it is the most basic, fundamental question. When is the money going to hit my bank account?